Yo, what's up, Fish? How you doing, man? Let me adjust this a little bit here. Okay, there we go. I think we're looking okay. Yeah, for the most part, I think we are. Looking good. How am I looking on your side of things, Fish? I made a quality change today on the stream. I'm hoping that it's not messing anything up and that we don't lose anything today. Because we are on like all platforms with the quality change, so my hope is that everything runs smoothly, and then I thought the next couple of streams we do will be kind of almost testing streams. I'm going to slowly try to make the stream quality a little bit better every time that we turn on stream, just to kind of polish some things up. We don't typically change much, but now we're good. Looks good. Nice. I really don't try to change too much because it's so easy just to hit the go live button and assume everything works every time, right? So, but we're going to try to make sure everything is running smoothly. So little by little, I'm going to make some changes for stuff, but yeah, we've got a raid that I'm actually healing for the first fucking time. Excuse my French, but I'm going in on Minstrel. So, yo, what's up, Astro? How you doing, man? Voice is definitely a bit more boosted overall, even after you turn it down a bit. I've got it. Might be where the mic is, honestly. But if needed, I can turn my mic down a little bit. Astro, how you been, man? Does the microphone sound okay to you, Astro? Where are you at with that? Because we got it like right here in my face. So if we need to turn it down slightly, we can. Mic is good. Mic is good. You got it. You got it. It has been a minute, man. How you been? Where you been? What you been up to? We've been just kind of hanging out in Middle Earth for most of it. Let me go check on my pay to wins here. 3 hours. 3 hours. We should be fine. Shouldn't be any problems. Is there anything I need to do on this guy? Like pre-raid? No. Been out of Lotro, have you? Where have you been? I've been kind of out of Lotro a little bit too. My hours in Lotro have significantly dropped, so taking care of life. Yeah, that's what we did on June. We moved, actually. You might have noticed the background is changed and is sloppy. Yeah, we moved recently into the new house in June, so don't come back, don't do it to yourself. I like Lotro, man. Even though I dislike many of the decisions that are made on how it's run, the idea that it continues to get content year after year is still nice. So, like, I highly dislike design decisions, development decisions, but at the end of the day, it is my home MMO, right? So, glad your move went well. Yeah, man, absolutely. Yeah, it went well. We're pretty big chilling with it. Trying to get everything else settled, which is why we got so much stuff in the back. At the end of the day, I think I'm basically moved in. It's just the closets have been a challenge to get those to work right now. So we're working on that, but once we get that sorted, we'll be fine. Right. Are these all red pieces? Yes. We almost have 5-set red, which is cool, actually. I wonder what 5-set red minis actually look like. I might have to group up with Nico at some point to see what he's doing. Yeah, I've got basically everything here. We just gotta figure out the closets and yeah. So, but yeah, I think we're in pretty good shape here on the mini now. Even though I don't play the mini nearly as often, I'd love to play him more. I do enjoy the minstrel quite a bit. So let me turn this down slightly more too. There we go. Okay. So this is going smooth right now. I'm watching it just back on a different monitor right now. I'm sure this gets a hell of a lot more hectic, but just watching the subtle camera movements and stuff, I can clearly tell the difference. We'll probably up the quality next stream and see how it goes, assuming that we go well. I don't know what happened here though. Uh-oh. Am I still here? Am I still connected to stream chat? Are we good there or no? Did I already mess up? I hear you. Well, it must be a Lotro problem then? Yeah, I mean, speed looks good, I think. I'm doing speed test right now. Oh, yeah. Red chain. Still see and hear you? Yeah, we got red chain. So it's a Lotro thing, actually. Why they gotta do this to me, bro? I'm making like quality changes to the stream, trying to make sure everything stays good and that we're running smoothly, right? And then Lotro's gonna throw like a red chain at me right now to make me like question the decisions I've made. God damn it. Hey Zero, appreciate it, man. Hopefully everything comes back up. We'll probably just reset here. Red chain's never good. I don't think we're coming back from this. I'm just gonna go ahead and just reset it. Let me take us over here. There we go. But yeah, Tithan, how you doing? Welcome in. Also Zero, how you been? How have your groups been on Folly, Zero? If I can get this pulled back up here, we'll be in good shape. What's on the agenda tonight? We have a tier 2 scheduled for Folly. I'm actually healing it, so I'll get my healing fix in. And then after that, we're kind of just hanging out. I think I've got Mariner stuff I can go level up and do. If people have like 6-mans or 3-mans that they need help on, I'm certainly down to jump in with that, but not too much outside of the tier 2, so. Lost about 4 good peeps to real life, so find your replacements. So on hold except T1. Gotcha. What do you guys run early though, right, Zero? I was gonna say I could jump in, but I think you guys run kind of early, like East Coast time frame, yeah. And also, yeah, it typically gets to around this time of year, and people get to be kind of in and out in flux. Where are other people on? We are on Twitch, YouTube, and Kick right now. I think most of the chat should appear on the screen, but we're on all of those platforms. So finally clearing on Mini. I hope so, man. I hope I don't get. I doubt that I get kicked off a Mini and put to a tank on this group, but we shall see. You never know. Oh. Okay, we're back and we're good. We're solid. Let me switch back over. There we go. Do I need to repair? That's a big question. No, we're all good. Let's head over to Buttercup just in case. Never know. Yeah, Zero, I don't know if you're ever interested, but we have a couple of tier 2 groups that run in Knights of Kingstead. And the invitation goes to everybody, by the way. If you guys are ever interested in kind of swinging at tier 2. We have some pretty, I want to say, decent groups that are going in and clearing boss 1 and 2 on the regular, kind of progressing boss 3. Some groups are clearing the whole thing. Our late night group is, I know. And we don't have like static people in those. We're certainly kind of always rotating people in and out. So yeah, 6 East server time on Saturdays. It's all good. Yeah. If it wasn't so early, I would definitely offer to come jump in, but I'm at work during that time, unfortunately, you know. So, hey Shay, new player to Lotro myself, really enjoying this game after being disillusioned with WoW. Where are you at? What class did you go with? Welcome in. I'm so happy that you're enjoying yourself here. So we have lots. We've been playing this game for a very long time, so we kind of understand where everybody is. So I joined a few Discord tier 2 groups when I can get in. So yeah, it'd be awesome. Maybe I can join sometimes. I would say hit me up on Discord, and I can shoot you an invite over, man. I wonder what. Are you in the Lotro official Lotro Discord, Zero? That's typically my connection with most people. I see a Zero Cool 66. I don't know if that's you or not. What with Blue Guardian? Just going through Moria for the first time, been enjoying it. Dude, Guardian's so fun, actually. It is awesome. We streamed Guardian gameplay last stream, actually, with the new raid. So Blue Guardian is so much fun. It's the fun part is, too, Shay, it's basically taken in most every raid. With the exception of very niche scenarios. So you have no problem getting into group content when you get up to the into the group content. Blue Guard is awesome. We actually made a video on it a couple weeks, I guess it was a couple months ago now. But yeah, Guardian is like my third, I don't know, it's tied. You know, I started with Burglar, and my second character was Guardian. And then my Brawler has become my second favorite character once it came up and they introduced Brawler. But lately, Brawler, Guardian, they've been a lot of fun. So back and forth between my second favorite. So see you another time. Have a wonderful stream. Hey Astro, I appreciate you hopping in here, man. It's good to see you. But yeah, Blue Guard is where it's at for sure, Shay. What server did you end up going on? We're over here on Glamdring, which I think is the more popular NA server. Let me actually, I think they're all in Discord right now. Let me turn on streamer mode and jump in there with them. Where is it? Here it is. Boom. Hey, how's it going, Ildor? Figured the punching bag tank would get me into some raids. I used to raid as a DPS only in WoW, so that's a bit of a change. Also shows Glamdring. Nice, nice. If you need a home, I've got a kin that does mostly in-game content, but if you need people to kind of ask questions to, they're pretty helpful. If you know, Glamdring is a big server too, so I'm sure you can easily find a home. All of my characters, like I'm up here at the top, are like Toe. This guy's Toe Mac, so I have Toe Mac, Toe Tank, Toe Nailed. All my female hobbits are Peach Fuzzy, Peach Slice, Peach Caster. So I'm in the Knights of Kingstead kinship. So it's a lot of fun though. Good on you. Hey, we're just hanging out. It's a lot of fun over here on Middle Earth. We're about to jump into a raid, heal it up a little bit. So doing a little bit of a change. Yeah, Shay, we typically do tank. I like the kin name. Yeah. Well, I've been in the Knights of Kingstead for, I want to say 6 or 7 years now. I joined at the end of level 130 cap with them. But I've been playing the game since the Mines of Moria that you're in right now. In like 2009. So I've started, we've been playing the game since middle school. So it's been a pretty long journey in Middle Earth here. So if you ever run into any questions or anything, for sure, Just let me know. 6-7, something like that. Thank you, Tethan, for that. Oh, I don't think we're gonna have a Guardian in this group, actually. I think Robley is gonna take over main tank responsibilities as Warden, which is gonna be interesting, actually. Yeah. So we're Warden Brawler tanking it. I like that. That's interesting. I like it when it changes up. Very cool. Oh, 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 oh. First time I touched Lotro, maybe 10-ish years ago briefly. Played all the free-to-play content at the time. Wasn't a big MMO guy then. They've expanded the free-to-play content by leaps and bounds since you jumped in. I think the free-to-play content ended in Lone Lands at the time. Now it goes all the way to Helm's Deep. So you can really get into further into the MMO now. Did, yes, yeah. Tons more content now. Absolutely. Which is the fun part about it. That's where I left off? Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, Helm's Deep is a good bit of time to get there. The character I'm leveling their new class, the Mariner, right now on the side, and she is in level like 75. Great River, almost into Rohan. But been very interesting. Going backwards and leveling through that is a lot of fun. Super excited to explore more outside of Area Door. Yeah, for sure. I think the Area Door is a very nice... Area Door always does feel like how do I say? Like the classic version of the game. Oh boy. Something dropped off. It always does feel like the classic version of the game, but the game still is good, like beyond Area Door, of course, or else the game wouldn't have survived this long, right? So. Why am I... wonder why this particular character is not showing me their buffs. Huh. I'm gonna have to take a look at that later. I was blown away by the level of detail in Minas Tirith for Midsummer. Stormwind to Orgrimmar could never. Did you do the Midsummer Island and stuff that also was there? Because I love the Midsummer Island that they came out with. They came out with that last year, actually. So it was... that's like easily one of my new favorite like festival areas. Well, I need to turn on and off, maybe? I have a question, guys. Skedaddle and Click do not have any buffs or debuffs for me. Is there a way... Did I have something bugged on that? Because I clearly know... Oh, yeah. Hit me up again. I hit the leave now button like an absolute dumbass. Oh, man. Dude, that was... I got baited so hard there. Holy shit. Alright, I fixed it though. Thank you. I'll be there in 1 minute. I did, yes. I enjoyed that little island a lot. Dude, the island is sick. I love it. And the next festival coming up is the Farmers Festival, I think, right? I wonder when the Farmers Fair comes up next. Or let me look here at events for 2026. I'm looking for Farmers Fair. That's going to be in August. So this time next month will be the next festival, Farmers Fair. It takes place in the Shire. It is, you know, you're betting on hobbits and dwarves during the drinking and eating contests. You're collecting eggs. You're collecting mushrooms from Farmer Maggot's farm. It's a lot of fun stuff there too. There's got some fishing that's involved there too. It's cool. So they typically have like a festival like every 2 months. So really cool stuff that they got going on for it. But the new Summer Island, because it's so new, I think they've done a nice polish on it. So Oh. Chat, I'm a little nervous. Healing this up a little bit. Midsummer didn't skimp on currency either. I got enough tokens to buy everything and vendors easy. I think that's the case with most of them, if I'm going to be honest. I think you can kind of do that with most festivals, even if you miss like previous years. Like it may be difficult to get like, I want to say all the rewards that you want for like 4 consecutive years. But you should be fine to get anything you want with the festival. It's like an uncapped market for most of it. Especially if you have like multiple characters too, right? Multiple characters make it really easy to get as much currency. Because while I had a couple characters I ran through Midsummer, so... But yeah, for most of them, I tell you, there isn't even a cap on the Yule Festival tokens, I believe. So you can just pile up on hundreds of them. Well, that's unfortunate. Oh, I think I'm in only like heal spec too. Unfortunate. I won't have Coda going. I should have did bot like mode. I don't have a damn fear pot on this guy, I don't think. Or if I do, it's not on this bar. I know I have fear potions on the other bar is the problem about this. No res. Guess I'll res. I gotta swap to the other build. Damn it. There we go. There we go. Dude, I tell you, this Nico healing, whoo, yeah. Nico supporting me because I am struggling over here, I tell you. I was already bad on that. Yo, what's up, Dole? Dole Nurin. I'm gonna call you Dole though, if that's cool with you. If you have time for a new player question, absolutely. Debating with Captain and Warden, and I've watched more than enough videos about both. I want to go Redline regardless of the class. Is it worth going Redline Warden, which I'm leaning towards, or will I struggle to find groups content? Sorry, the long question. Don't apologize at all. The one thing that I will tell you right now is that captains have a lot of accessibility to groups between their tanking spec and their damage spec. The damage spec we have in this group right now. We do have a tanking Warden who also has done DPS in our raids before as well. The one thing I will tell you though is that while I encourage you to go Warden, it is a challenge. And one that is not one that a lot of players want to endure, right? They want to. Many people, for their first class, they typically choose something different. I don't want to discourage you. I will tell you that like Warden is probably a really great class, and it will get even better as time goes on because it's probably up next on some of like the new reworks. But as it stands right now, we do have Warden in pretty good spot. It does really good damage, and it can tank really well. I will tell you though, it's just like one of those things where there are some bad wardens because there is a difficulty. There is a difficulty that is like it's a big thing with wardens, you know, like because of how difficult the class is. There have been some wardens that are pretty bad. So I would say that I would encourage you to go warden. My warden's like 110 or something like that. I never finished her off. But I would warn you ahead of time. I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't warn you ahead of time that there might be some inaccessibility to groups unless you like really start pumping the damage. I would encourage you to really don't sleep on the damage, right? If you're gonna go red, really go red, and really take it seriously is what I would say. I would because that would be what I would say for in-game. Both will find groups, but leveling I'd go warden, easier to solo. Yeah, that's another thing too. Captain especially will have a scenario where they will like it's much more difficult to landscape on Captain. Warden is far easier to landscape. So from that point of view, especially considering that's the core of the gameplay that you'll experience for a very long time, I would certainly go Warden over the others. So hope that answered the question. Warden is certainly like the way to go, I think. Warden is by far the coolest, most unique class in the game, but as Sleepy said, it's a steep learning curve, yes. Yeah, I would say if you're looking for a casual game that you want to just log on for a couple hours and just big chill, go with Captain. If you're looking to really enjoy yourself, but only if you're like taking it seriously, commit to the Warden, have a good time with it, is what I would recommend. Yo, what's up, Bowen? How you doing, man?
Stay and have some tea.
Hey, do I appreciate the follow, brother. Hi, Sif. How you been, brother? What's going on? I've come here to learn how to Blue Guardian. Oh, yes. Is that the case? We were just talking a little bit about Blue Guardian earlier. Shay is in chat right now and said that they had just tried out Blue Guardian, and they're in Moria right now. So Blue Guardian gang, yeah, there it is. It's one of Bowen's favorite classes as well. However, I will say, Shay, okay, you're gonna have to keep up with this, but Bowen and I have Hobbit Guardians. I don't know where your Guardian's sitting at on the hype meter there, Shay, but you know, we're kind of cruising with Hobbit Guardians lately, so. And it's the best ever? It absolutely is the best ever. With the exception of maybe Brawler. I'm just gonna throw that at you. Oh no, Shay. You went with the human Guardian. What's going on? Sleepy Dog has convinced me how great the Brawler is, I agree. Except we flip Brawler and Guardian. Yeah, that's true. Bowen is a Guardian enjoyer, I'm a Brawler enjoyer. But we're both neck and neck with that. So. Boo this man. Oh man, that's so funny. Somebody better boo this man. Boo. That's so funny, actually. Warden comes in third for you, Bowen? Oh, don't let Dole hear that. Dole is about to start their Middle Earth journey on Warden right now. It's about to be #1 for them. Boo it myself. That's so funny. Oh, 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 oh. What's a tracker? Oh, is that so? Thank you, Billy. Yeah, I know. Oh, 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 oh. Bo, how has World of Warcraft been for you, man? I have been not been keeping up with the World of Warcraft streams lately. Unfortunately, I jump in and I lurk for a little bit, but also I'm not as familiar with the game, so I've never like committed to WoW like I have any of the other MMOs. This fight is exceptionally boring the way we do it. You're right, Tisson. That was the big hit, you know. We ain't really getting out of that. I guess this gives me an opportunity to be a buffing bot. Yo, what's up, Torque? How you doing? What are they gonna let you my mini tank? I've got the shield equipped, you know what I mean? Overheal that aggro midi tank. I want to see if I can try to keep that thing locked down. It resisted. That'll hurt. Cowards. Also, what can I naked take for you guys? Oh man. Oh, we're all dead, bro. We're actually doing mechanics all of a sudden. There we go. I love the musical healing, 100%, 100%. I was late to join WoW. I played when Blizzard was running Wrath of Lich King again. Gotcha, gotcha. Saw like 3 people sub 10%. Listen, Torg, as long as they have 1 hit point, it means we're good. Right? Absolute facts. Did you die though? Is like a statement I'll live by. More foot tickling the mobs. Death is just another adventure is a great slogan. I love that, Bowen. Oh. Yeah, Shay, the musical healing of the minstrel, boosting your morale due to the lovely music is always a fun concept to me. What are they gonna let Jamps use shield again? I don't know if they ever will, Isif. Unfortunately. But also, Isif, tell me this, okay? Tell me this. Was them removing shields from champs such a bad thing? Because yes, I used the shield when I had my champ way back in the day, but I don't ever it being so terrible when I lost it. The free people want to know. It's also hilarious to picture a halfling practically playing music on the battlefield. Absolutely. Alright, we can make this a little bit more, surely we have an outfit somewhere here. Yeah, yeah, here we go. Let's put him in a chef costume. Even better, right? We got a chef hat on with our horn. We're cruising, I tell ya. Music boosts my morale. Mostly Britney Spears. There it is. Yep. So I wasn't playing champs when I could use it, but based solely on stats, the survival champs. Okay, I see what you mean. The armor value coming off of like a heavy shield or just a shield in general would boost physical mitigation quite a bit. So I see where you're going with. When I play Lotro, I listen to Britney Spears and elevator music. Sometimes dubstep. That's a wide variety of music you got going on there, Bowen. Okay, here's what we listen to, right? Cyberpunk radio transmission for programming late night gaming. That's what we got going on. I listen to Neon Core FM. That's where I sit at on YouTube. Nico, where do we go as healers? Did you find that in the bit? Oh, surely we don't both go the same direction, right? Maybe I go over here. I'm gonna come over here and hang out with Sal. We're gonna get our weapon over here, chat. Okay, I'm lying. Well, you play higher tier content and know more than I do. So for me, the problem is the lack of support, if you will, they offer to the rest of the raid. Yeah, like blue champs in general just don't have good support for the raid. Like if you think about a blue guardian, they have break ranks. Brawlers, they have best defense and gut punch. I'm pretty sure wardens, they bring their mitigation shreds on top of desperate spear. They have, I'm pretty sure our bears have armor crush, you know, and bees. You know, you had a number of things that all the other tanks Captains don't necessarily bring offensive support, but they do bring defensive support with like an in-combat res and stuff. So, you have all these other tanks that do a little bit more. Champions literally bring the same support that they have on tank line. They bring the same support as if they were a DPS. So we always just bring them DPS, right? That's why, unfortunately, that their tank line isn't used as much. It's mainly used in like 3-man, 6-man stuff. So, yeah, what's up, Blood? How you doing, man? I'm usually in the mood for Mongolian techno, for lack of a better name for the genre. Soothing the savagery, I listen to my crying goblin babies. We're getting a little bit dark here, Bowen, I'm going to be honest. Champion challenge doesn't even reduce damage anymore. I think it would have been great if they had left champion challenge reduction of damage in blue line specifically. That would have been another level of support they could have brought. It would have been kind of cool. But alas, right? Never heard it before, but I can already tell Mongolian techno goes hard. I can hurt, yeah, 100% it goes hard. Just by the word alone, the name alone, it just fucking goes, you know? We're about to lock in. It's going to make me, like, lean into my monitor and be, like, 2 inches away from it and just, like, go. But champs bring a certain type of sexiness that others don't. Alright, Bowen. Come on, man. Far cry from the Gangster League? Dude, Gangster League go crazy over here, I tell you what. They got both of us, Nico. What the hell? Yo, this is prime snacking opportunity, actually, Nico. Holy shit. I probably shouldn't have done this right now, actually. A weapon in the middle of that's pretty brutal. So how intense would you say raid mechanics are in this game? Some raids in WoW is like very choreographed dance, and if you messed up, everyone dies. I think it's a little bit depending on where you're at, Shay. So in current in-game content right now, we have 3 different tiers. What you're watching right now is tier 2, so we're in the right in the middle. And what we end up doing is, what I would say is that tier 2 is probably the content that you see most of the community swinging up at, right? Probably not many of them, not many pugs are going to be doing tier 2. They're going to be doing tier 1 and restricted to tier 1. But I would say that most groups are at least getting a couple of bosses out of the raid in tier 2 right now. I would say that you're closer to how you describe some of your mechanics from WoW, Shay, is what you would see in tier 3. Everyone's got to be on the ball. The DPS checks are incredibly high. A number of different things. It's definitely like I think tier 2 is a nice sweet spot. I wish it was a little bit easier. I personally think that if they spread out the raid across 4 tiers instead of 3, it could bring a nicer spread. But it ends up being that this content took a different direction. Last level cap we had 5 tiers, and it was a lot easier to spread out the content. So. Well, they got you good that time, Nico. I'm in a chef's hat. They don't want me. Out of curiosity, does blue champ not bring damage buffs from red champ? So do you take it in the place of red champ? All of the debuffs, if you would, from red champ, all of the debuffs from red champ are also on blue champ, which is, I think, pretty sure it's just blade wall at this point. So, having been in both, I think the difference in plugins are mandatory in WoW. They help Lotro. Yeah, that is a big thing too. In this content, we don't really have many like you on screen. So for the minstrel specifically, I've got like a timer for some of my anthems, just because unfortunately the way they design anthems, you can't optimally play unless you have like a timer for it. But most of my characters, we don't have any type of whatchamacallit going on. Any type of plugin for the most part. Most people run plugins to like help them call out like raid mechanics and such. I don't do that. I kind of just eyeball it for the most part. And people hate me for it, I guess. Tithan especially. But do you guys run into any bugs during raids? All the time. I would say, Torque, right now, I don't know if you watched the Lotro news that they announced today, but they in fact took down tier 3 version of the 6-man that they released recently because of certain bugs that they existed. So, Sleepy don't need help. You're right, Smitty. We don't need no help. I'm stupid. I looked away for too long. Oh, get up, Smite, and I'm up. I don't know why it deleted that message, Tithan. I don't know what. I didn't even know we had a moderator over there. I'm going to be honest. Typically, we don't have moderators over here. I'm going to be real. We run a one-man show most nights. One sec, chat. I'm sorry. Yo, we got tier 2 completed because we've killed boss 4. Nice. Oh, hey, what's up, Ranger and Bone? Yeah, I figured we look goofy while we're in here. Hey, anvil plant. Does anybody want anvil plants? Slash troll. Here, I'll post it. You were gonna sell my anvil plans? Why? Here you go, Jaren. No, come here, come here. That's crazy that you were going to take my anvil plans and then sell them to somebody else.
I see no other options.
You guys use moderators? Because I deleted it. So I hit enter this earlier. Pretended like he doesn't know Vision anymore. Is it? Vision, yes. Vision became a plugin user. Also, Vision is probably asleep right now if we think about it. Doesn't. Also, what's up, Missouri? When was the last time Vision was on in stream though? Can I see that? Let's go look. I do not. Here you are, sir. Boom. I don't see how you can find anything in those bags. What do you mean? I found it immediately. I found everything I needed immediately. I'm reliving my childhood with backyard baseball. Dude, let's go, Missouri. Nice. You could go to the raid and get my LM his lion fed. Hey, there you go. That would be funny, actually, Ranger. Dude. Oh, man. Let's take a look here. Those of us who fought in Morgoth's name at the dawn of this world share a bond. I wonder why we're running into this problem over here. Let me reload. Elder dragons are gone. Even Sauron is gone. I beseech you, let those of us who remain join forces. Okay. There we go. 2-2 sounds like a good time for sure. Tier 3 sounds pretty similar to heroic rating in WoW, which is more fun, definitely for different reasons. I think it's closer, if I am understanding how rating works in WoW correctly, Shay, I'm pretty sure it's closer to mythic rating. Like tier 1 would be your LFR, tier 2 is your heroic, and then tier 3 is your mythic. And we've done tier 3 before, but it's definitely one of those things where like you only attend on like certain classes that you have perfected. Like, you know. Yo, what's up, Funk? How you doing, man? You must defeat it, or it will destroy Burjala. There we go. Wonder why that's happened to cows. There we go. I'm hoping that that's the issue. This will probably cut the music when I do this. Yeah. I mean, let me see. I'm having to reopen that back. Reopen. Here we go. Toad's correct on that one? Yeah. Yeah, Mythic is closer to it. Oh, wait, slash stuck. Oh, I can't do stuck again. I gotta go die. Had to go to the gym. My fingers are getting too. I played older content only, so I've never tried Mythic. Hardest content I did was for Rogue 25 and Lich King. Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, it certainly is. Yeah, it would be tier 3 would be your hardest content ever. So the raid is typically going to be significantly more difficult than like 3-man, 6-man content, simply because there's just more moving parts. But that would be the biggest thing. So, what's up, Pang? How you doing, man? What title do we get for Folly Tier 2? Blightbane is the title we get. Interesting. Okay. Chilling. How's it going tonight? It's going pretty good. We are, what, 45 minutes in and already on Blast Boss. So we'll probably be moving over to the Mariner here pretty soon. Kind of figuring that out here pretty soon. But we're on the Blue Minstrel, which is something I never get to play, bro. Well, let's switch back up to our classic outfit here. Now that we got out with the chef hat and stuff. There we go. Yeah, we're cruising right along here. Haven't really got any loot. I got another tanking pocket. But I don't even know. I'm trying to think if I need it on a different tank. I'll have to go log into my tanks because I know I have it on my Captain, Brawler, and Guardian. I know I have to. So I'll have to check and see if my champion has it. If not, that's going to be where it goes. Maybe your LM could use it? I bet, actually. That's a great point. But the thing about it is that it has block rating as a stat. And it would be kind of wasted on block rating. What's the average runtime of these in-game raids? It depends on kind of where people are at, Shay. So when we have a raid on farm, it can take anywhere between, I want to say, 45 minutes to 2 hours, depending on which group you're kind of running with. I would say 2 hours for the simple fact of, like, yeah, sometimes people come in on new roles that aren't really familiar with it, so a wipe or two can happen, like we just saw, and then cause a little bit of a longer. If you're going with a group that's like progressing, many groups I think in Lotro typically have a cutoff at 3 hours. 2 to 3 hours is typically the cutoffs that I see with other groups. Like I lead a learning group on Sundays that's just like the first couple bosses of this raid, so you can be comfortable going into a raid, right? And that group I don't go for longer than 2 hours. Sometimes shorter than that if we kill both the first couple bosses. So, but ninjas block with the staff. I'm sure you could too. That's very true, Pang. I wish we could. Is it blocking with the staff or is it parrying with the staff? That would be the argument or the question I'd pose to you. Badass. Yeah, I have a. It's in the guild we run. I wanted people to be, because we have a lot of different groups that go into the raid throughout the week, and I want everybody to be confident going into at least the first couple of bosses, so everyone feels like at the very least they got the first couple of bosses down, and that they're confident going into boss 3, which is arguably the one with the most mechanics, has a little bit more time. Has a little bit more difficulty at times, right? So Sal, what are you doing, man? Oh, he's putting that puddle real close, isn't he? Most people enjoy raids versus getting yelled at in a group. Never, yeah. That is a big thing that I wanted to avoid, is I wanted to, and so every time we go in, I recount, you know, the same mechanics over and over again. Everyone's very familiar with them. Sometimes it may be redundant, right? But it is, I think, really important that people have like an environment that they can learn in, and that typically is what I try to provide. So pretty chill thing that a lot of people that I've gotten to know recently have been coming to that group. So that's why he got to start on the toe 6 man. Yeah. Oh, we're interrupting his eruption, it seems, a couple of times. Also, what's up, Tommy? How you doing, man? Yeah, I had to 6-mans a while ago, Tommy, but we moved up to raids because there's the guild has gotten so large that I was benching too many people running 6-mans, actually. You know, so I upped it to the raid, but I didn't want to do the whole raid because, like, I still wanted it to be casual and approachable enough, so I said, let's just make it a learning group. And that's what I ended up doing. Tier 3 Palace? Oh no. I went back in there like 3 weeks ago. It is just as painful, brother. Let me tell you. Absolutely. Absolutely not. Maybe when, you know, we get LI increases, we're going to get virtue increases, we might get gear increases. Maybe one day like that. But never seen it. Need a deed, good sir. Everybody needs the deed. Let me tell you. I don't think we can outpower the RNG on boss 2. I think we can eventually. There it goes. I will tell you, Healing this is not nearly as fun as any other role I can play. I'm gonna be honest. Got gloves. Do I need gloves? I kind of need gloves for more cloth. I'm gonna be honest.
This blight runs deep, and I will claim its source. Pray we do not meet again.
She's gone.
Definitely seeing some plugins going on. Well, be honest, I do have plugins because anthems are horribly designed, but also because I never get to play this class, so I never get. Everyone should know this at this point, bro. How are people like? I've told people that I use plugins for anthems over and over again. I've told people this. Also, because this is like my 6th character that I bring into a raid. This is the first time we completed this raid on tier 2 on this character. This raid came out 5 months ago. I've done this raid at least like 30 times minimum on every other character that I bring to raid. Thank you guys. There we go. Let's get out of that there. Plugin equals cheating. Our streamer has fallen super low. It is what it is, Isaac. I tell you what. It's pretty brutal, man. Pretty brutal. Ready to spend your blighted next week? I'm pumped to get 5 set on Redberg. I want to get basically all of that shit too, honestly. I did spend a lot of my existing armor and cloth. I ended up getting 5 set blue on this guy, which is cool. And then in my bags, this is 4 set red right here. So we'll probably have 5 set red here pretty soon on this guy. I'm more interested to get blue 5 set on the captain because I really want to go into the raid on blue captain and heal that, honestly. I think it'd be a lot of fun, but not to see. I think it'd be fun to blue captain Gardens, but Gardens is in a terrible state that cannot be done. So, or at least in the developer's eyes, because they took it down. So, is he 160 yet? Looks like. Oh, he's 156. Huge. And get another blighted relic right here. How many blighted relics do we have? Let's see. Blight. We're at 156 blighted relics. So that's a good chunk of change there. I laughed when I saw the notice come through earlier. They finally realized it's bugged. Missouri, I laughed because I think they didn't... I think they took it down not because it's bugged, but because I'm pretty sure people were selling... I'm convinced myself that people were selling clears because you just needed to kill last boss to get the clear, and I'm pretty sure last boss is the one that could be bugged, right? So like you have a group go in, kill boss 1 and 2, and then you advertise for somebody to come in, get your tier 3 clear, you move right along. I'm sure that's how somebody somewhere did something. There's no way it took them 3 weeks to realize it was bugged. There's just no way. Is the best gear going to be 576? I think so. Let me take a look.
What do you need?
I'm pretty sure that's where we upgrade to right now, right? Yeah, 576 is going to be the upgraded gear. I think 574 is going to be the highest eye level gear in Gardens at tier 3. So I can't think of anything else that's going to be higher. Most of the pieces of gear that you'll get right now is going to be 568, 569. So, or lower even, because that's just kind of where we're sitting at, right? But, all right, chat. Let's jump over to the Mariner for a little. Well, actually, let me find a home for this pocket real quick. I'm pretty sure our blue champion can make use of it. So let me find it here. Let's sell it and then rebuy it. Get rid of that cooldown. Let's send it to Peach Slice and then log over to her real fast. Then we don't need... That's 567. This is 567. Get rid of these guys. Let's ember this. Let's ember this. Let's ember this. And ember this. All that should be good to go. Alright, let's go to the champ real fast. I'm not even sure if boss 2 is possible on blue Cappy. Doesn't it have to be one target to heal? Banner doesn't get hit by it. AoE heals. My theory, Tithan, is that the AoE healing from the captain is so strong that while it is only targeted healing, the words of courage and gift of spirit heals would be enough to pump a banner up to where it needs to be. At which point you might as well be taking a better use of it, because your AoE healing is going to hit everybody constantly. So I would be interested in the challenge to take blue captain in on tier 2 of gardens and see if I could heal it based on what we have. Because words of courage and get to spirit are only targeted heals, especially with the set bonus of captain. Give me something a little bit beefier on there. I think it would be something I could do. But there's also a heal you get every 4th heal. Yeah, gift of spirit. So it's a fun healer. It's just in Dun Shuma, the summer raid of last year, and in this one, they've given us targets to heal rather than our teammates. And that has been a little bit upsetting, right? So here we are. Do I have this? If I do, then we're just going to ash it. No, we don't, actually. So that's huge. What does this look like when compared? We lose the crit rating, I know that much, and we trade it for block. We're losing a little bit of vitality, but we're gaining big TAC-mit, we're gaining big Phys-mit, and that's about it. So I'm going to put a physical well, I probably shouldn't. We should probably put on blue set real quick. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Put on the weapon, put on the necklace. Oh, I don't even have another solid gold bracelet or amethyst bracelet, actually. Okay, that puts me at 330, 320. Equipping this, 338, 337. A pair of scrolls will come on and get me past 340 of each of these. Gets me at 345 on each of these, actually. The pay-to-win scroll would take us up another 7k. So that would get us to 352. This tank gear is probably all humbles, because that's the last time I've updated it. So some flickerings, okay. Is this even upgraded as well? Let's look. Not really. There's Ebbing Ire that could be upgraded. Riposte damage that could be upgraded. It's not upgraded nearly as much as it could be. Grand Armor is at least here. Grand Willpower is at least here. Yeah, we could upgrade a little bit more on all these traceries and get the mitigations we would need just fine. So that makes me feel good. So this character's this character's especially tier 2 ready for the tanking form, but almost tier 3 ready if I wanted to, which is nice. So it's Dunshula. Is that how you called it? I thought it was Dunshuma. I think the banners have too much morale. I'd be curious for sure. I would love the challenge of it. I think it could work out because, like, I think that you could do really well on it. So let's jump over to the Mariner. On Blue Guardian, I'm running Fidelity, Honor, Innocence, Justice, Tolerance virtues. Should I switch any of those around? My gut feeling off the top is to tell you to swap Justice. But let me take a look here real quick. I'll tell you, especially just off the dome, Loyalty is going to be better than Justice. It's probably going to be the thing I'm going to recommend you swap to. But let me take a look at them again real quick and see. I could probably, better yet, let's swap to the Blue Guardian and I'll tell you what I'm running. Let's do that real fast before we get started into the questing of the Mariner. Let me get the Hobbit Guardian going on here. I bet you I'm running just that Fidelity, Honor, Innocence, Tolerance, and Loyalty. I think that's what I'm running. No, you're not hijacking the time at all. Never think you're doing that. You're all good, Shay. That's why we stream like this, so we can answer questions and have a good time. Let me take a look. I think that's the 5 virtues I'm running though. If I'm not running the 5 virtues like that, it's because I don't have something leveled. And I bet you that's the case half the time. I bet you I 100% guarantee you I have compassion because I don't have something leveled. That's probably what's wrong. Let's see. Yep. I'm not running Innocence. So the one I'm running is, like you said, Fidelity, Honor, and Tolerance. I've got those. But then I swapped your Justice for Loyalty, and I swapped your Innocence for Compassion. And the reason that I did that instead was because Innocence starts to build resistance rating in the middle of it. As the secondary stat, whereas Compassion builds physical mitigation, tactical mitigation as the second stat, and then armor value, which just translates into more physical mitigation. Because at in-game, typically you don't see any resistance rating being, it's kind of a throwaway stat. It helps you resist bleeds and resist the ticks of bleeds that are already on you. But at in-game, typically what will end up happening is the most deadly of bleeds are ones that cannot be resisted on the application, and they also can't be resisted on the ticks that happen afterward. They're non-cleansable bleeds is what resistance helps towards. And so with your resistance rating helping towards the application of certain cleansable bleeds, it really doesn't matter because your Ignore the Pain can be one of the best cleanses in the game. If you put 1 point into Numb Senses over here, you can cleanse up to 2 effects on a 7-second cooldown. Right, by default, it's a 1 effect on a 5-second cooldown. So it's something that resistance rating isn't really that great. So because of that, I opted to not level Innocence. I leveled Compassion instead, if that makes sense. Everything else, though, is like Tolerance. The reason that we make that exception with Tolerance is because tactical mitigation is harder to acquire than physical mitigation, because physical mitigation is amplified by your armor rating, and that helps quite a bit. And then Honor is max morale, tac mit, and crit defense. Fidelity is really good. It's just tac mit, physical mit, vitality. So really good stuff. Loyalty is the reason I would do that over Justice, even though I have both of them leveled. Loyalty has a lot of vitality, has more armor rating, like the physical mitigation. It'll go right into that. And it has incoming healing, which is something that you start to put a little bit of effort into when your mitigations get capped. So really good stuff on Loyalty. Justice is a good one to have, just not as potent as Loyalty would be. So thank you for coming to my toe talk. And back to the mirror where we go. So do you ever use Wit in a tank build? I try my best not to, Funk. I try my best to find Wit in other locations. Wit is a good one to have, but the reason that I try to find my finesse in other locations is because Wit comes with critical rating and physical mastery. While it's not always the case, you like to see a virtue that you use 2 of the stat for, right? And technically speaking, Blue Guardians can make the argument that higher critical rating means they can build their fortifications faster. But I make the argument that, like, I don't think it's that hard to build the fortifications to begin with. I would say to every Guardian, you might want to have it on standby to replace, like, loyalty, for example, to lower your HP, but make sure your finesse is high when you're going into higher tier content, to make sure that your finesse hits that. But that being said, I do find myself never needing more finesse. I just find gear pieces that have more finesse, and I end up equipping those pieces instead. Those end up being my solution to finesse rather than a virtue slot. So, super helpful. Thank you. Absolutely, man. When are you cap at mitts, what do you go for evade? Heist, it depends. It completely depends on the content that is available. So in the very beginning of 150, the content that was really important, especially for blue, we'll isolate it to blue guardian status, right? It was really important for a guardian, in my opinion. Other tanks may have disagreed on this. In DMK, it was very important for a guardian to have a higher block parry and evade, because they were tanking boss 1, which was a clump of bosses that had a lot of auto attacks that you could block, parry, or evade. And then in boss 2, they did the same thing. It was a clump of enemies that could be block, parry, and evade. So it was very important for them to pop block, parry, and evade. When we got into Temple, though, there weren't as many clumps of enemies that could be avoided. And so people opted the route of putting more of supplementary vitalities or incoming healing. So, yeah. BPE was great for DMK all the way through Wells. Yeah, it was really good for many boss fights because you could block. When you block an attack that's going to deal so much damage to you, you just saved your healer so much time. This raid and the most recent raid, or before it, Tub, they didn't cater to block, parry, evade nearly as much. In fact, they made certain abilities like you can't avoid them, right? Could also avoid mechanics, mitt shreds, and such. Yeah, you could avoid a lot of things if you completely block an attack, but many times in current content especially, developers have gone the route of, when they want a mechanic to happen, they want it to happen, so they make it a non-blockable, parryable, or evaded attack. So for that reason, you typically go the route of putting either more incoming healing in. You either go the route of putting more vitality in, using the what I call baby vits, the supplementary vitalities, which feels like a throwaway essence at that point, but they add up, so that's why you would do it. It's hard to get the mitts where you want them right now. You're not going to find too many essences where you're going to have like a throwaway kind of stat. The other thing too is like making sure your finesse is at a good spot. For a lot of Guardian tanks, they need to have pretty high finesse, especially for tier 3 of most content. So very important there as well. But yeah, you're gonna find that because Black Barrier Invade is really good for particular bosses. You might find that people might still make the argument, but I would say that because the raid really dictates how you gear throughout the whole level cap, and so gearing towards the raid is really what you want. What are good DPS classes doing in parses right now, like 200 plus K? I would argue that that's the case. Yeah, your tier 3 guys are certainly doing 200 plus K. I would say that if you're at tier 2 or trying to swing at tier 2, you know, doing somewhere between like 150, 160, you're perfectly fine in tier 2 content. Obviously, you want to be higher or as high as you can, of course. But and so many of the parses that you see most of the tier 3 guys doing, they're doing somewhere upwards of 200k on a dummy right now. So, also, what's up, Strip? You could be like me and go through life with finesse of a coal stove. Yeah. What is the ore here? Animal victims or innocent victims? I see. Okay. It's been so long since I've done questing in Great River that I'm going to be... This is almost completely new content because of how old it is. Parses depends on group team comp. Range from 225 to 313 on the berg, depending on comp. I think a lot of people base parses on what you're doing at the unarmored training dummy, Missouri. That's what I end up telling people. Like a number to hit on a training dummy is ideal on what you really want. When we get into our groups, right? Our like raid groups, a lot of people get hung up on boss 1 a lot of the time. Or at least they did. I mean, most groups that we take through now are getting boss 1, right? That are swinging up with the content. A lot of the time I will tell them if they're not pumping above 200k on boss 1, they're not, like, the group as a whole will not meet the DPS check. And you can feel that too. Like when you're getting into like the plus 4.5 minutes, right? Yeah, on a training dummy, I would say, you know, for tier 2 content, you'd like to see most people putting 150k on a training dummy. Is where I think it is. Feel it on a tank, that's for sure. Yeah, you start to run out of juice when you get to that second to last hatch. So, ideally, you don't want your group to have to go that far because there's just so many more things that can go wrong, right? So,
Will you aid the horse lords?
Stay and have some tea.
Nahemic, appreciate the follow. Hope you're enjoying the stream tonight.
What brings you to these lands?
Got horses to feed the grass too. Bet. Robley, do they have patch notes for update 49 on what they're going to do to gardens next week? Have they kind of been looking into that already? I haven't been keeping up with it in the slightest because I've just not been that interested this time around to log in and actually see what they're doing. But I've been hearing some good things at least. They got BR notes. Are they like official like notes for patch 49, or do you think those are subject to change still? Looks like tier 3 boss 3 nerfs.
Will you aid the rotary?
Let me take a look. Surely they don't think that they're going to change anything else. Update 49 notes. Boss 3 simply must be nerfed. Yeah, I don't disagree. I think I found the notes. I think I found the notes. Okay, yes, I did. Hold on. Let me take a look. That is that screen. I wonder why. Ah, screw it. Let's take a look here real quick. We'll just pull it over here. That's what we'll do. And pull you guys over here. There we go. Let me see. Update 49, Sorceress. We knew that was coming. Delving to 4, new instances. Entrances into the Delving 4 allowed to rapid rate travel. We've read about that before already. I did want to hear about this though. The Delving 4 questing with the return to Delving 4 imminent report. This is one thing that I like. I think I am going to go out to the moors next week quite a bit and just kind of test out some of this stuff because I do think it's going to be. Well, I mean, I do enjoy it when they update PvP. To be fair. Earning infamy and glory updated. We've added a small change to the format to determine how much glory and infamy earned while in larger groups of players. In the Endmores, this should be reduce the value of a kill while players and monster players are organized in raids. So I kind of encourage 6-man kind of stuff. Let me scroll down a little bit here. Okay, this is beta 6 that they're on right now. Burglar, mischievous glee skills with no longer cause targets to animate as if they were hit by an attack. That's such a... What? Okay. Armor of the battle cry set now correctly displays both values for the set bonus. What is battle cry armor? Is that the yellow set? Or the red set? Armor of the battle cry. It is the red set. Okay, so it has had a text problem this whole time. The German archer is now referred to as a hunter, not a guard. Whirling winds now sustain less damage from most sources. Stagger now correctly applies debuffs when attacking. Only when attacking from behind the target. Yeah, it was still working as it was previously working. Hunters should now properly generate pips when moving if their pips are currently at 0. Wounded knife skill now applies damage over time rather than healing over time. That's nuts. Armor of Triumphant Sprung now causes the echo. No longer causes the heal from the Triumphant Sprung to play more than once per player. I didn't even feel like that was happening. Okay. I'm sure all of the... I'll read most of this when it comes out here. Guard of Corpses. This is what we're looking for. No longer reset banner on health when you consuming call. I think that's already in. That mini fix is from like 3 patches ago. Don't even know why it's there. I was about to say, I didn't feel like that was actually happening tonight when I was healing that. Echoes of the Zuru are now correctly immune to healing. Removes erroneous 1-second activation delay from Song of the Zuru protection area. This is stuff I've never even seen before. So I guess Song of Nezuru is a tier 3 mechanic. Song of Nezuru protection area is now slightly larger. The pulsing damage of Song of Nezuru has been corrected to only apply within 3 meters of each player rather than within 5. Nezuru is the tier 3 mechanics. Song of Nezuru damage has been reduced considerably. Dread power effect now applied in a larger area around Ushkadash. Dread power effect can now correctly increase player outgoing damage. Okay, so that was something that was not working. I remember that. Reduce the total morale of Ushkadash. That will happen across all tiers, I imagine. So, okay, so I don't know by how much, but they're just kind of implying that they're reducing his HP. I'll have to jot down how much HP and see. Do we know that percentage, probably? Have you taken a look into that by chance? Because otherwise, it could be 10% and it could be nothing almost. Nope, yeah. I'll have to see about that. Jump onto BR or something and take a look at that. Wait, this is important to me. What does this say? Mariners at level 1 to 99 can now open Treasures of Rohan and Treasures of Palantir victory boxes. Can I, if I do big battles right now, can I not open boxes? What? Are we serious? What? Could be anything that Mocker and Nerve of 2 months ago was 3%. That is crazy that you make a debuff or a nerf to morale that's only 3%, right? I'm thinking like 5, 10, 15. Like keep it increments of 5 like all the time when you nerf or buff something. Right? Like the buff to the Browrog was 10%, right? So oh, here we go. Several essences based on heal effects have been converted from absolute value heals to max morale based heals. Affected essences include Cloak Iron Clasp. I provide essences of moon. So okay, so we might actually see the Cloak Iron Clasp like actually functioning, is what I'm reading from this. Because like I'm specifically not using the Cloak Iron Clasp right now because it's bugged and it doesn't work. It doesn't provide the heal. So that'll be interesting to actually see. Ill Omens has refreshed rewards for defeating Harbingers of the Dead. Completing the event's climactic quest now grants Essence of Bounty tailored to your level, including full support for level 160 characters and our 150, 105 characters. Also, they put in Ill Omens on 105 too. The Cloak Essence heal is doubled, I think, for most tanks. It's still really bad. Okay, I'm using like the heavy one that you can get from caves. And I've just been using that because it has more vitality and it's like absorbing, I think, an attack. But gosh, dude, there's so many changes to PvP. Look at all these changes to PvP. Holy crap, bro. That's crazy. All of this. PvP changes. Wow. Use whichever has the best stats? Yeah. A new Quartermaster has joined Highbolt to stock up with the new Mariner sets. I'm sorry, do Mariners just not have armor sets? Am I reading that correctly? Did we forget about Mariners after we applied them? The Warden of Annuminous now has goods available for Mariners. Mariner is mentioned 19 times. Classic Skirmish Vendor offerings are more alphabetized and removed redundant Helograd Mariner filter, which moves them to medium gear. Mariners are now able to receive gear from Big Battle boxes from level 10 to 99. They're also able to purchase gear from merits. The merit... They didn't... What? Released in 2026 July. Might as well. Oh my god, what the hell? Adjusted the kill quest throughout the Endwars to now count the Mariner class. Oh my god, dude, what is all this? Oh man, that's so funny. Okay, to be fair, some of the Mariner stuff is... Okay, so it's only actually mentioned 9 times. Everyone else, all the other finds are people complimenting or not complimenting the Mariner itself. Frostbluff, Wispmead, and Furtherhome can now be accessed outside the festival seasons from Thorin's Gate, Celadum, Mickledelvin, Bossward, and Breetown's Gate. Note, while accessible, most/all content in those spaces will not be accessible outside their usual festival periods. And they will have milestones available too. That's interesting that they're actually going to open those spaces up. Because if you've ever logged out in Frostbluff, for example, I'm sure it's the case for the others as well. All of the NPCs are just gone during non-festival times. So, that's crazy, actually. All right, let's get back in the game here. But that's interesting. So it looks like, to me, Robley, it looks like they're going to have basically just Tier 3, Boss 3 nerfs, with the exception of their health, which is going to be reduced. And that there will be some more additions to the banners to hopefully make sure that we don't have banner bugs, from what I saw in Boss 2. But other than that, that's about what we're getting, which I don't necessarily hate. I just hope that whatever... The problem that I think that really sucks right now for SSG, for Gardens, is that the instance has really been out for like 5 weeks, I think. And to many players, it has been deemed not completable for 5 weeks. As far as like the general populace that will group up and pug the content and then go to the forums and give feedback. So I don't know. I would hate to think that this is the last update to the instance. I would like to think that they still keep an eye on it. Except by a very well-known encounter-breaking exploit. Yes, that's the only content that I think many people have done. As soon as that exploit made the rounds, and like hit people's like feed, I think that was all that people were doing at that point. So I don't know. It's going to be very difficult for it's going to be very difficult for them to make this an instance that is like in a perfect, in my opinion, like what I would consider like a pretty good spot, because like any of the normal feedback that you kind of base it off of, I don't think you're getting that this time around, right? So, which can suck, man. I hate that. I hate that because like, even though they don't do it, I would love for them to go backwards to content and make it accessible or have a reason to run it at some point, right? Like, I personally think that, like, I would love to see them kind of go backwards and revisit any of the content that they've made and put it to a purpose. Because most of the content that they've made can be level scaled. I'd love for them to kind of do something with it, so... Shame. The instance has good roundward, I think. I think so too, but I hope that it's not going to just be left behind, you know? Because that's going to suck. That's going to suck because, and I'll speak from this from experience of like people that I play with. There's a lot of people I play with that don't have VIP, right? And if this instance basically gets left behind after this update, there will be a lot of people that are not VIP, that pay for the content, that pay for this quest pack that typically is associated with a 6-man every year. I know a lot of people that will be hesitant to purchase it next time around because of the fact that the instance, they will instead wait for the 6-man to release and get the opinions of other people, I think. Which is something you don't want when making a quest pack, I think. Because I think the people that are making the quest pack, they want the ability to just make the quest pack and not have any kind of like problems with it and just say, cool, I made the quest pack and Toe is going to purchase it. No questions asked, because it's the next step in the story, right? But, you know, while it's the next step in the story, a lot of people do purchase it because they do want to run the content that follows the story, right? Because that's ultimately what happens afterward, right? So, I don't know. It'll be interesting. Ancient rockworm, you say? We can kill that guy. I don't know. I would be worried about it because of the fact that it's like one of those pieces of content that I don't know. I'd be certainly worried about it because it would hurt the reputation of the summer quest pack, in my opinion, if they left the content behind. So I do play instances. 1T1 clear in 5 weeks is absolutely infuriating. Yeah, I would say that I'd like to say that when it comes to instance content, right, the way that, and a lot of my first-hand experience comes from my guild, right? So Knights of Kingstead, we'd go into Palace and Hold day one. A lot of people. We had like 5 events set up for like the same day. And we did it on tier 1, and then we did it on tier 1, and then we did it on tier 1. And then eventually people got enough gear that we started to upgrade our events from tier 1s to just standard tier 2s. And I feel like that's what you would like to think that Gardens could be. You'd like to think that you get enough people familiar with mechanics on tier 1 and Gardens that eventually people are comfortable enough to go and feel confident enough to go up to tier 2. But they have severely kind of not provided that level of progression on this one. Forgot about the severely overtuned release. Tier 2 and even T1 were very challenging. Well, here's the thing too. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure that tier 1 is still I don't want to say severely challenging for most players, but I will say that, like, because I've been mentioning this to a lot of people, there are certain mechanics in tier 1 that if they expect you to be to one-shot you or do significant damage to you in tier 2, you should feel the weight of those hits, but they shouldn't provide the exact same result. For example, Ending Strike on like the ads in Boss 2. Humble opinion is that they should not actually one-shot you in tier 1, because Ending Strike, for a lot of players, whenever they die, they don't quite comprehend what led to their death. And I think that if you make Ending Strike a full-on one-shot from tier 1, right, what is the purpose of me ever running tier 1? I should just start everything at tier 2, because like the things that will one-shot me on tier 1 will also one-shot me on tier 2. There's no difference in the mechanics, right? It's just more damage and more health towards the tank at that point, right? So, a couple of plugs T1s recently. They don't one-shot T1, and they won't one-shot anymore. Yeah. At least we have that going on. At least the lines and squares do. Don't know about Ending Strike. Yeah, the lines and squares, they don't one-shot. I think Ending Strike still does one-shot, if I'm not mistaken. Which is a disappointing thing, because I think that, like, lines and squares are very obviously visible. If I stand in a very large red box and the induction goes off, I would like to think that most players can comprehend the fact that they just got hit with a very large red box. But Ending Strike being a like 3-second cast, 4-second cast, that one-shots you in the middle of their mess, right? Because that's what people end up doing, is they're kiting things around and stuff like that. Healers sometimes get tunnel vision. DPS even sometimes get tunnel visioned and don't quite comprehend what just killed them when that happens. There needs to be a learning opportunity in tier 1, not just a complete one-shot, personally. Even their autos hit really hard. The ads in Boss 2 don't have autos. It's just Ending Strike and the boxes, to my understanding. I don't even think they have auto attacks built into their system. Same with same goes for the little Drakelings too. Like summoning 12 little Drakelings, and all of them started casting their inductions from like 10 meters away. Granted, that has been adjusted, but it completely one-shotting people, and that won't matter. Okay, whatever the non-box attacks are then. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Ending Strike is what it's called. It's an induction attack that's a complete one-shot, to my maybe with the exception of heavy armors. But yeah. See, this is what I mean right here, Robley. Like, this is, I mean, not to like dunk on Yumizor, but the average player that's going in there doesn't even comprehend the fact that they're not getting hit with an auto attack. They're getting hit with an ability. And because that ability one-shots them, they don't have any time to register what just happened at all, really. So you can have, and Missouri is a very competent player, in my opinion. And this is a confusion that happens just kind of naturally, because there wasn't much telegraphed information on an ability that 100% one-shots you, especially light armor classes took them from 100% to 0%. It's hard to comprehend what just happened to me because I was doing my rotation and then completely gone, right? So it's kind of fun. Feels like a Morse raid trying to keep up with the damage and avoid everything. It is. The reason that you were describing why it's fun, Missouri, is why a lot of people really enjoy Boss 2. But it's not until you completely understand the mechanics behind Boss 2 that you really enjoy it. There is a collection of people that were really excited to get into a 6-man for the very first time, and then they got smoked on Boss 2. They didn't understand it, and then they said, I think I'm over this, and then they completely left. And then they'll never go back into that 6-man again. Right? And what's crazy, too, what's actually kind of nuts, and you know, people can hate on me for this, too, but I'm looking at those patch notes. A lot of those patch notes are related to tier 3 mobs. So some people are going to read those patch notes and be like, what the heck? They didn't even nerf the 6-man. I don't even know what these mobs do. Because they've never even seen these mobs in tier 1 or 2. So they're like, what? I don't understand. There's nothing in here that got nerfed except for maybe the HP. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to look at that. They're going to see, what the heck is the spirit of Nijanu? I would notice if they got close to me for a second, so that I get blasted animation like an audit. Yeah. It's a strange thing for sure. I don't know. I think the dungeon has potential, but I just think that, like, it goes back to what we've been saying a lot over the past couple months. It's like having a 3-tier system completely alienates certain parts of the community away from one another. Because there will be people that can do tier 3. There are people that will be able to do tier 2 that will never have a chance at attempting tier 3 just because of the limits that they have put on, like, the damage thresholds, the health thresholds, the healing checks. Maybe that's what they intend. I would always like to have an opportunity to be able to teach players how to kind of go from what they're at to the next tier, because I was leading learning groups for Arena Tier 5 for a very long time, and very clearly getting them done, doing a great job with it, but I don't think I could ever do a learning group on many of the Tier 3s, with the exception of maybe Hold, in current content, just because of the new difficulty that they've thrown in to power, so kind of sucks, but hide behind the stone. Here we are. Okay, got it. Ambush. Rock the horn. If it's like a 2 to 3 second induction, though, I'd expect a gray bar or something like that. Spiders falling. There is a gray bar. But again, there's a lot of moving parts. Like, if you get a gray bar going on while you're trying to dodge like a red square or line, it's going to be kind of difficult to see, right? Especially considering that every single player, well, 4 players have eyes over their head already. The enemies have eyes over their head already. Like, there's a lot more going on visually in that fight. Yeah, there's just a lot of particles going on, right? It's a fight that has a lot more moving pieces than many others, just because of the nature of the mechanics that are going on. So, yes, I'd expect it to be like insanely telegraphed. For an ability that is expected to one-shot you at all tiers, I would expect it to be incredibly telegraphed, and we did not get that. We got a small gray bar, and the animation is the guy taking his sword and raising it to here, and then moving it to here, and that is an ending strike. He's dead. The person in front of me that I attacked was dead. Yeah, a quick swipe. That's it. You know? So. Like I said, I would love if Gardens is to be a really good instance if they could continue to work on it. But I just worry that it's not going to be addressed here soon after we get past update 49. So gets 3 million in critical defense. Yeah, I don't even know if that's gonna save you, Hyzef. Then already? Okay, we'll get it. I'm looking for 2 sentries and a skirmisher. Skirmisher's right here. Dude, this guy hits so hard and we're on Fearless. Like, Red Mariner is really pumping right now, man. I tell you. Sentry, this guy. And we just need one more weapon, so. My mighty Ebon Ire can withstand everything. Ebon Ire being the ability that you use to withstand everything is so funny. I will say though, there's a lot of PvP changes coming to update 49 though, and that makes me kind of excited. Makes me kind of interested in jumping into PvP again. That would be kind of interesting to do, especially for the summer months, if you would, when the content gets kind of stale already. You aren't able to put together as many groups. People aren't as consistent. They're like going on vacations and stuff. So that would be kind of interesting. Let's see some PvP. Well, we might do some PvP streams in response to update 49. So I have no idea what the PvP climate is out there nowadays. Yes, 49 is the Sorceress released. I was planning on testing that out. Yeah, we might do a Sorceress stream at the very least. I don't know if I'd ever play Creepside. Maybe the Sorceress goes crazy. I think it would be really funny though. Like, with the Sorceress being like one of the first classes to come out on Creepside in literally 19 years, 18 years. Day 1 Sorceress is gonna be insane. Like, it's gonna be nothing but the Sorceress out in the moors. Not only that, but there's gonna be like probably no Freeps. It's all gonna be a bunch of questing Sorcerers. That'd be so funny, actually. I need me some chieftains, is what we're looking for now. Ravager, chieftain right here. Gotcha. Everyone's gonna try out the Sorceress and get farmed because no one's gonna have any clue how to play it. Passive infamy, yeah. Sorcerers farming Freeps. That'll be fun. Burn the supplies. Where are the supplies? Is this it? Aha. How about it? There we go. Get out of here. Peng, have you ever done PvP out in the moors? On the bear, I guess? Sharpening up the claws and such? I don't know how PvP ends up going on the bear. Haven't seen many bears out there before. I tell you what, I've never seen a brawler. Brawlers, I guess, are non-existent in the PvP as well. Might have to be the best brawler by being the only brawler out there.
What business have you with the Rohirrim? What brings you to these lands? The Rohirrim have need of your services.
All right, real quick, chat. I'm gonna go grab that food. We're gonna be like gone for like 60 seconds, and then we'll be back. So one sec. Oh. All right. Okay. I did a little, but I'm not great. I have a rank 6 Reaver. Nice, nice. I did a lot of PvP back in Helm's Deep and Rohan days. Is when I kind of did more PvP. But I don't think I've been out there since the server the first server transfer, I think. So what am I looking for here? That way. It's been a long time since I've actually like taken the int more seriously. The thing that really killed it for me, actually, I think, was the introduction to Audacity gear, which was a strange thing to say, but I really enjoyed the idea of leveling up, of like doing PvE content to get really good gear, so that I could then take that PvE content, the gear I acquired in PvE, and then take it to the int wars. Let me swatch it up here to this. Like, I don't know what it was about. I mean, very clearly, the correct thing to do is to put PvP gear, like, in the int wars. I'm not arguing that. But I do think that it was a fun time to go through PvE, get really decent gear, and then take that PvE gear to the int wars. It was like, I don't know, kind of like a fun like reward for bringing up a character. Audacity wasn't the best solution to ballooning stats they've ever had. Yeah, I don't know. I think that there is a... I mean, you probably should have like PvP gear. I think that is like the solution to make sure everybody's like equal when they go out there. If that's the solution you want to have too. Like, I don't know if that's like exactly what they particularly want. Okay, so my interrupt doesn't happen immediately. That's good to know. If it does happen immediately, it's at the end of that animation. Yeah, gearing up again didn't tickle my fancy as much. Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting concept, I guess. Mariner interrupt is so cool. I'm about to say, I think I just had my first Mariner interrupt experience right there. That is not what I expected that to happen, bro.
Brings you to these lands.
Oh, oh, oh. Audacity wasn't useful in PvE though. Wasn't like you could do PvP, get the gear, and could complete elsewhere. Yeah, I would love to see if Audacity gear was like respectable enough to be like a tier 1 armor set, you know? Something that could get you, like, to put it in perspective of like current content, something that could get you into the 3-man, 6-man instances of today. So you could go and get those, right? Yeah. They're always really low on stats though, Rob, you have to admit. Like, I've seen some minstrels that are probably really great minstrels in the Moors. They come over to PvP with that PvE or PvE with the PvP armor. They have like less than 350k HP. They die to like the first AoE attack, you know.
What brings you to these lands? What brings you to these lands?
This system that they have in Great Rivers should be the system I think that they have in like every fucking like landscape, where like they obviously have very clear quest rewards, but they should have the option to select more of the, what is this, tokens of Anduin. They should have that currency, like where you can choose the currency of the region instead of collecting the quest reward. If I don't plan on using the quest reward, that would be so nice, actually. Where am I going with this? Probably to the right side, actually. How'd I enjoy mini healing? Dude, don't watch back the stream. I am fumbling over skills like crazy. I am so rusty on blue mini. It's something that I enjoy doing, but I will say I am just fumbling over everything on blue mini. I love the idea of being able to heal a tier 2, right? I think that's where my blue mini should sit and stay. I'm never going to be able to heal a tier 3. Or not for a while, at least. I'd have to really practice it. Bring back actives? What do you mean by that, Missouri? Well, was glad to have you on many. I mean, I will say, so there was like the reason I was fumbling around is I was like having moments where it was like, oh shit, like I need to have my coda up in the middle of this burn. You know, I'm gonna be honest, there was a moment where I was like, yeah, wait a second, my coda needs to be up during this blood orb. Also, camera is off. Well, you see, we got cheeseburger, and I don't know how bad I am when I eat just flat cheeseburger. So I'm trying to slowly chip away at this. Well, not on camera real quick, but that's the biggest thing. Cheeseburger. Yeah, stand swapping is like the biggest bitch on that. Towards the end of the night, I said, screw the coda, it's causing too much problems for me. I'm just going to go a healing bot build. And instead of hitting like Major Ballad, I'm going to hit like Perfect Ballad or whatever the one is that increases output to damage. I'm going to hit that instead. So that ended up being what I ended up doing. is I just made sure I was on top of my 4.5% damage ballad rather than stance swapping for the coda, because I just don't think I was comfortable enough. Especially on boss 3. I think I can get away with stance swapping on boss 1, 2, and 4 just fine, actually. So I think I can do both on those bosses. Boss 3 felt a little bit more healing intensive to the point where I think I should have, you know, I don't know if I'd be able to do it. I'd have to kind of, I had to work up to that, right? So. The Great River Pocket item with a 15% mastery for 10. Oh, dude, Missouri, I know what you mean now. I kind of wish they had more actives. I agree with you there on that, actually. They have the active necklace from Tier 3, but they've made like an effort for their actives recently, the past two raids, to be specific to the last boss mechanics, and really not that good. Like, I think the one in Tub was it was so you could like destroy the femorals with your active, and then it's a 6-minute cooldown. It's something similar with the necklace. Like I'm glad I have my necklace from Tier 3 to... I've got it positioned on my yellow burglar, because there are times where I want to remove my mushroom debuff so I can get the same color mushroom and kind of have a moment where I can carry boss 4. But like any other class, they don't really ever want to remove their mushroom debuff or mushroom buff, because like it's big damn, right? So it seems silly. I think I'm the only... I don't know. There's not many people that are using that necklace, like, effectively. You know what I mean? Like, I love using that necklace, but it's like, yeah, it is like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this, you know? You can't change gear in combat, so can't gear swap like you used to. And I don't think you should, to be fair. I don't think we should be able to gear swap. I just wish that our actives were like a little bit more relevant. So why not have some lower stat gear with actives? It would be interesting. I think what ends up happening though is that you find yourself in a developer cycle that is pushed away from actives unless they're specifically designed for actives. For example, what was it called when we had in Ill Omens? It was the thing that gave you like 15% damage for like 20 seconds or something. I can't... The name is escaping me. They had a healing one, a DPS one, and a tank one. Oh my god. I'm so stupid. I can't remember this. But they had like active, like... I'll just call them tomes or whatever. Like pieces... That not gear anymore, but they have like active like consumables. But the... what was it called? I'm looking this up right now because I'm stupid. Ill Omens rewards. I must be stupid, bro. Portents. That's what they were called. Portents. They had portents that were active. And so that's where you find most of your actives now, Missouri, is that most of the time they will just create an item that will become an active. The other like active thing before that was like the incoming healing potion that you could craft. Incoming healing potion that you could craft and slam on the ground, and everyone around you for... what, 15 seconds got more incoming healing? Mm-hmm. Yeah, the fortifying healing trout. I really like those. I really like the idea of keeping crafting relevant by like creating some like very niche consumables that are probably going to be used in your upcoming like dungeon or raid, right? Yeah, like we in our product team for Tub, Missouri, you know, on boss 3 of Tub, you had to heal up Legolas, and he could be affected by all types of healing. So we went in there with multiple types of like different healing comps multiple times. And then one of the really great things that we could do is bring the incoming healing fortification droughts that we'd slam on the ground. He could get more incoming healing, and we would time that. So like one, and it was on like a longer cooldown, as you might expect. But then you'd have like one person hit it, and then the next person would hit it, and then the next person would hit it, and then you know keep that incoming healing buff on Legolas the whole time. It was actually a really fun time, I think.
What business have you with the row you're in?
Yeah, you're supposed to have exhaustion, but you could bypass it by chaining them. Yeah, which I think is, I mean, to be fair, I hate kind of cheesing something when it's not supposed to be intended like that. But at the same time, like I think that shows a level of coordination as well. I would have rather them not have an exhaustion like that personally, but yeah, I think more consumables is fun because more consumables to me feels like old school MMO stuff. You know, like there was a time, well, long time ago at this point, right, where you would have to like actually prepare for raid by crafting multiple types of things.
What business have you with the row you're in?
Oh. Well, they don't have a guy in here? Oh, no captive anywhere, apparently. Oh, here he is. Got it. I went left when I should have went right.
What business have you with the row you're in?
Oh. Alright, cool. Surely you're the... Oh. Oh, this one is not as,
Due to these lands.
Yeah, he's kind of... He's out, actually. Holy shit. Is there a way for me to exit down here? Or does this just leave me further in? Oh, look at that. How nice. Where does this throw me out, though? Oh, we are way up here. Holy shit. Mm-mm-mm.
Will you aid the horse lords?
Damn, none of these cloaks are really that good for me. That sucks. Cloak is like the weakest thing I have, I think.
Upon our strength. Will you aid us? The Rohirrim will need.
This is a repeatable I don't want to do, actually.
What brings you to these lands? The Rohirrim have need of your services.
Alright, let me turn camp back on here. There we go. Oh. Is this still counting? Where is this counting towards? Still Wailing Hills, I bet? Yeah, we're at 2 more here. How many more to go? 5 more quests to go? Okay. Damn, here we go. Got it. Is the defiler over here? Okay, he is. Got it. Cool. We can do that. Robley, are you still here? Do you know if they have talked about anything regarding Ill Omens rewards at the end of July? I know that's like a full update ahead, but I didn't know if anyone had heard anything about what the rewards are going to be this time around. Because that's like the next like festival type event. Haven't heard anything about rewards? Okay. I think it's like I looked at the calendar for it. I think it said the 23rd is when Ill Omens is supposed to be here. So let's just jump in here real quick and hide for a second. But like typically Ill Omens is like their event that they do in February. But like, you know what I mean? Like they haven't done any kind of they pushed it this time around because of the fact that I guess because the time it came out or it would have came out, it would have been right in the middle of like the content release. So oh, he's in the cave. Got it. In the past, they've done like on 150 they did at 150 they did whatchamacallit, they did the cloak first, I think, and then they did portents. My hope is that they don't do portents off the rip. I'd be curious to know what they end up throwing at us. Because, I don't know, in my opinion, I don't really like the idea of portents if they're not going to rework them to reset on boss. Portents are like a very old, like very old feature. Maximum level was 115 when they first came out, right? I know that they weren't here on maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't know. They don't. It's an older feature though. That's not like new to like 150, of course. So they never changed it to where they reset on boss kill or a boss reset like they have with a lot of things like Scrolls Hope and things like that. I'm kind of the opinion that if they don't like reset on boss like full, then I kind of don't care to have them. That was the big thing with when we had them during like raid nights, is that like people were so hesitant to even hit. It's crazy you can swim in that. It's people, we were so hesitant to even hit the portents because like they go on a 10-minute cooldown. What if you wipe? You don't even have them the next pull. I want to see them like on probably that same 10-minute cooldown, just resetting on boss. That'd be so nice. The reset skills on boss has been a very like huge quality of life update in the past couple years. That's been like really nice. Oh. Do you know the percent bonuses for 3 and 4 set on Berg? How do you mean? Because to my knowledge, there isn't a percentage bonus on 3 and 4 set on Berg. Are you talking about yellow Berg set or red Berg set? Yeah, such a big commitment to use them unless it was like the last 30 seconds of a boss. Yeah, which also sucks. Red set don't have... I don't think they have percentages, no? To my knowledge, they don't. The 3 set on yellow or Redberg is the bonus from stealth and what Hips gives. What Hips gives and what the bonus from stealth are, it's not a percentage, it's a buff that you get on your person that the next attack you do applies an attack called Chasing Shadows. And that particular attack goes with the normal attack that you would have done. I don't know what percentage of the damage or the parse it would be. I do know that it's going to be like your 3rd or 4th highest hitting skill. So it's really up there when it comes to that, right? But it's not like a percentage of the damage you deal. It's like a set number that's doing like 20 to 23k or something like that. So, damn, is this really a... Yeah, this is over on Earlsmead. I don't know where the rest of Wailing Hills quest ended up going, but I guess we're off to Earlsmead for a little bit, and then we'll come back here later before we leave. Yeah, Missouri, I think it's also in a status where, like, your build that you have right now doesn't accommodate for hips, right? But when you have 4 set, you rework the build to make sure that you get hips cooldown, because, and this is something that I didn't realize until I started playing around with hips. You know, while hips may seem like a very long cooldown on landscape, it actually has a different cooldown in dungeons. It also has a different cooldown in PvP. That might be the dumbest thing I've ever said aloud on how they handle that skill, to have a different cooldown in dungeons, landscape, and PvP. Most of the time you only see like the differences in PvE and PvP. But yeah, so your dungeon hips is going to be on a shorter cooldown. And because of that, your untraded, it's like 3 minutes in instances, if I recall. Yeah, you can bring it down to like 1 minute in 45 seconds though, or a minute and a half. Something like that. I think it's a minute 45. So if you get it to a minute 45 like that, you can kind of really use it. You can really use it really frequently. It also will line up for Oathies quite well at that point too, I think, in most cases. Is it that powerful? Is it worth switching traits for it? Yes, it is. It is. Absolutely. For red burglar, absolutely is. There's an argument to be made on if it's worth switching it for your yellow build. To go all the way down into red, because then you lose like things like bob and weave and stuff. So you can make an argument for doing it or not doing it in yellow, but for red, absolutely it's worth it. So I haven't necessarily posted a build with it in KOK, just because we don't see many red burglars. But I can send you what I had, just so you have it and stuff. And maybe you get more use out of it while I tank for you, because I never get brought on anything else. I've been assuming that with it, knives out, hips, coup de grace, yes, it goes crazy. The whole thing. You pair it with everything else, and it just goes wild. So I'll be in touch after U49. Yeah. No, I have a feeling the fun part about Update 49 is that we're going to see a lot of people with more. We're going to see a lot of people with builds again, right? Or the general populace will have more builds available, right? So that'll be fun, because I really want to see more options than just the meta of what is available out there, right? I really enjoy when we brought Robley as Warden Tank tonight and Billy as Yellow Hunter. That was pretty sick, right? Like that was awesome. It was a cool time. So bringing like the off-meta classes is actually a lot of fun in most cases. So it's just a stupid progression of all or nothing. Have to buy everything before it's worth using. Yes, I've complained about that very in length at this point. I think that their system of gearing this time around is, while it looks good on paper, it is not something that is entertaining for the player. Like, while it looks good that, hey, the six-man guys are going to get a set bonus, isn't that cool? The answer is yes, that's cool, but the nature of vertical progression, it makes that player that got 5 set from the 6-mans really greedy. They want to go another step further, like any human being wants to, and go for the raid set. But if they don't have the means to get that raid set, each piece that they do end up getting, they just are not enthusiastic for at all until they have the full set. So, yep, tried more people on newish roles than honestly I even realized was pretty fun. Trust I bring Blue Warden to tier 3 eventually. No, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. And correct me if I'm wrong, Robley. So I was talking with we were talking tanks earlier in chat, I think during the raid, and I ended up making the comment that I think is it Desperate Spear is the incoming damage debuff, and Wardens also have the mitigation shreds that they also bring as well. Do Wardens bring anything else support-wise in that matter, or is it just those two mitigation debuffs and the Desperate Spear? Is there something else that Wardens are bringing that I'm thinking that I'm missing when it comes to the utility? Because we were comparing them to the Blue Champion, and why Blue Champion doesn't have nearly as much support, and why we don't see many Blue Champions at the time. Offensively, they have Battering Strikes, which is a crit defense debuff as well. Okay, gotcha.
The Rohirrim have need of your services.
Napkin math, it's like maybe 2 to 3% increase. Gotcha. Okay. Okay. That's actually, it seems like a lot of fun, honestly. Hey, Hysa. They can put bleeds on the boss, I guess, also? I mean, that's no different than just normal damage, though, is the thing, Hysa. Defensively, they have suppression, just 5% outgoing damage. Conviction for healing, yeah. And Freeps, group-wide 20% incoming damage. Okay, got this. So they have quite a bit, actually. Yeah, I knew Wardens were not that bad of a tank. But I didn't quite know all of the details. It's book 6 that I'm working on here, actually. I thought these were the marked locations. Silly me. Perks and I were talking, think it might be Biss better than Guard for Raid, potentially. Because of all the additional things. Like, yeah, probably. The problem with Wardens is that they've had such a bad rep, or have been so difficult to master for so long, that it ends up being that more people are just tank-brained and want to go be in the Guardian skin than they do the Warden skin, right? So I would love if Wardens potentially took the Guardians, because that's how it was back in Moria days, right? Like, Guardians were really good, but Wardens were definitely a step ahead when it came to tanking in Moria days. And it almost feels that way now, especially with Guardians having the less utility with, like, a Fellowship maneuver, right? Because they took that away. You know, I don't know how many people have actually sat down, with the exception of you and Perks, probably, have actually sat down and taken a look to see, you know, how the nerfs, or I want to say changes is probably the better way to put it. The changes to Blue Guardian have affected, you know, their comparison, right? Because realistically, it's just a lot of people have Guardians. People log into the game, they see Guardian as a class, and they say, cool, I'm just going to be Guardian, I'm going to be tank. You know? Whereas Warden is a unique experience to Lotro, and certainly something that not as many people choose on launch. And the next step further, not as many people choose to get good at as well. So... biggest concrete thing is Guard has over Warden is grouped for its 2% raid mets, but also has much easier consistent, whereas Warden you kind of have to plan ahead. Yeah, that is a big thing too. Guardians can kind of very mindlessly have the forts up, and it kind of applies to everybody. It's the same with Brawler as well. You know, we actually have that, like, share heavy skill, that, like, 2% mits, or 2.1% mits, or whatever the heck it is, for like 20 seconds, but on like a 2-minute cooldown. Like, it has to be timed well for like an attack. I wish our share skill, I think it actually is on a shorter cooldown than I'm actually alluding to. Share skills. It's a 2-minute cooldown. We take the tracery for 44 seconds. So you're looking at about a minute 20-ish, right? So, but most AoE attacks come more frequently than a minute 20, which is why I dislike where share skills are at on the Brawler. I do wish that this was like a shorter cooldown on share skills to make it more reasonable. Like, certain share skills, it makes sense that they're like a minute 40. Or a minute 20. but others it's like for example, I think that like the heavy share skill on the brawler should probably be reduced, or share skills in general. I mean, we can debate either way. Should probably be reduced when tanking, right? Like it makes sense for a share skill on red brawler to be like a minute 40 because that, or minute 30, because it lines up with like banner buffs for like a captain, for
Stay
example.
and have some tea. Stay and have some tea.
Hey y'all, how you doing, man? I hope I said that right. Y'all. Appreciate the follow. Hope you're enjoying the stream tonight. Which group forts made into something like a tank roll passive? Captain has a version of it. Warden does too. Champ and Barrett could definitely use it. Absolutely. And like, I'm not necessarily hating on the idea that it's not like a passive thing. It's something that you have to plan for. Make it a little bit of a skill thing that you do. Like, I'll tell you this with confidence, Robley, and I did this last night. My boys decided they wanted to go play some Final Fantasy 14. And I played Final Fantasy 14 like 5 years ago. And so I said, all right, I'll come play with you guys for a little bit. And I logged into my warrior for the first time in however many years. And they had an ability called Shake It Off. And it's a very minor like shield that you can put on everybody that's extremely just dedicated for an AoE attack is incoming, protect your whole party. I like abilities as a tank that I can throw out to my party and say, okay, cool, I have prepped for this attack. I'm going to put shield on people, and in preparation, you know, protect my party because of it. You know, that's the same way I feel when I put One For All out there. It's the same way I feel when I put the heavy share skill out there. So, you actually started FF14 the other day? I've had we moved over to a different server data center that I was used to. My boy, Mizure, not Missouri, Mizure, that comes in here. He's been playing Final Fantasy 14 for years. I played it about 5 years ago during Shadowbringers Endwalker days. So, is this on Glamstring? That's where my level 70 Cappy is. If you want the group at some point, possibly Smitty. I'm probably going to be doing leveling the Mariner on like Tuesday nights for the most part until the foreseeable future. Maybe until the PvP update. But I might, if you want to, at some point we could, but I think tonight I'm probably just gonna be cruising out of the lone, just because I don't know exactly when I plan to stop the stream. I don't want to get you out here committed to it and then stop like 20-30 minutes after you get all set up out here, you know? So probably at a different day though, for sure. Beast Slayer. May do some grinding to catch up to shield, brother. You. Yeah, for sure, for sure. I'll probably start up East Rohan soon. You know, that'll be a thing. What I've been doing, how I've been leveling. I don't know how you've been leveling, Smitty, but how I've been leveling is I've been doing the quest of an area until I get the deed done. And then I drop every quest that I have after I get the deed done. And use the story to take me to the next location. So it's actually been a lot of fun. Now, Robley, if you're looking to play someone with play with a group of guys for FF14, man, I can hook you up, man. Hooked up on a FF14 stuff. I don't know how far these guys are actually going to get into FF14, to be fair, because in order to get to end game, you have so many hours of story to go through. But I have I've been dabbling in it past couple days. Been a lot of fun still.
Will you aid the Horse Lords? What brings you to these lands? Will you aid the Rohirrim?
Because I hate having to pay for a subscription, but I can't deny that FF14 has so much engaging content that it's a lot of fun. So Was doing areas until right around there, and then have been grinding skirms for the last 5-ish levels. Don't know which zones even go to now. I think 75 you can start the journey into Eastern Rohan. Or maybe it's 74. It might be sooner than that, but that's probably like the on-level start to it, right? So... Oh, dude, are they gonna red chain me again? There we go. Holy, whew. Did some East Rohan, but hated this horse stuff. Never got back on track. I gotcha. Yeah. The horse stuff can be a pain for certain classes. Absolutely. Not opposed, but I don't really anticipate getting past the free trial. Okay. I won't push it then. Yeah, the storm, the free trial I think goes really far now, up to like Shadowbringers or Stormblood. I can't remember. But combat horses, Tokyo Drift. I do wish that they would revisit mounted combat and rework it, but it's been too long gone, too dead now, I think. Because it sucks that it sucks. Level 80 or something? Yeah, level 80, which is crazy on their free trial, I might add. Like for the when I was playing, it was... I guess that's not crazy, depending, like, because that's where they were free trial wise on when I was playing. When it was level 80 cap, they had it go up to 60. So I think they keep it 20 levels behind level cap. But to think about it now, like, that's still a lot of content. Like, MMOs in general, their free trials get longer and longer as the game goes on, it seems. So... Yeah, I've been playing around with it a little bit because, like, you know, Robbie, when we get to these summer months like this, it kind of... people are not as active. The game kind of, I don't want to say dies a little bit, but it does become inconsistent because of all the activities people do outside of the game, right? So... So I've kind of been dabbling in some other stuff for it. Nice change of flavor. Yeah, the biggest change of it that I know is that the global cooldown is really slow at the start. You can really feel it. But I know that that certainly gets faster as you level up. I know for certain, like, they have more like off global cooldown stuff. But man, is it slow. Yeah, it's like when I was hitting abilities and watching the like spin around, I was like, "Ooh, wow, this is different." Definitely different. Especially when you start getting skills off the GCD. Yeah, absolutely. It gets much better when you start to get skills off the GCD. Like when I played at level 80, I did like all of the raids and stuff there. And then I did the intro raids into 90. But like when I did that stuff, like the off globals, there's just enough of them so that global cooldown isn't, you're not feeling like you're like falling behind or something. Like it's just, you always have something to hit, right? So and that's a good feeling. That's what you want the game to feel like, is like you hit one skill into another skill kind of thing. You don't want to be waiting on a skill cooldown. So some of those skills with super long animations feel kind of awkward though. Absolutely, dude. I have this like animation on my warrior where she decides to just jump up into the sky and slam her hammer down, and I'm just sitting here like watching it happen. Whereas CD doesn't start until the animation ends. It is something that, like, I think is strange. like I don't think there's many other MMOs that follow that same criteria. You know what I mean? Like many other games they have that GCD built in the game somewhere. So it said confront this guy, but oh, he's way over that way. Okay. Which, to be fair, other games don't have lag, so I know maybe they were on to something with that global cooldown.
What brings you to these lands? What brings you to these lands? Our success depends
Whoa,
on
that
our
jacket looks like a
success.
crazy icon. What does this look like? Yo, this jacket looks sick, actually. The hell? Wow, that is an insane looking texture on that shit. I didn't realize that they had that. I'm gonna get that jacket instead of the silver tokens this time. That looks sick. Find a clue about the Shades Captain whereabouts. Would it be on somebody? No? Well, it could be anywhere. I noticed the skull of a... Okay, I definitely noticed that somewhere, surely, yeah. That's something I did. Oh, brittle skull, here we are. Huge. Where are we at with these? Earl's Mead? That's what it is? Yeah. 13 of 20. There's 20 quests in like every region here.
The Rohirrim will need your aid. Will you aid the Horse Lords? The Rohirrim have need of your services.
Got him. Can we enter from the east side over here? Brother. Oh my god, they got walls for days, bro. I thought I was gonna come up on the entrance here, but I'm wrong. There we go. Oh, I'm actually supposed to interact with the horses. Shoot. Got it. I gotta frighten them and then scare them off. Okay, got it. Typically they have like a ring over their head. I'm stupid. Oh. The Mariner run speed boost, man, it is crazy. This class is, like, really fun to play. I didn't think this class would be as fun to play as it is. Huge. Alright, we need one more guy in stealth somewhere, and then we'll be all set. Doug Lee! How you doing, man?
Sleepy's back. KKKK. Sleepy 120 clear. Sleepy 120 clear. Sleepy 120.
What you been up to today? I saw you logged in earlier this afternoon on FF14. Oh shit, it's right there. Okay. Completely did not find that. Oh. Got sidetracked by painted a picture of Harley Quinn from the hit Harley series, Harley Quinn. Let me see. Is it the one from earlier? Let me see. Google Chrome completely crashed on me. That was strange. Wonder why that was. Anyway, moving on. Nice. I see it there. Very cool. Why did it completely crash? There we go. Also, I'm questing Cap. How is update 49? I couldn't tell ya. Also, how is the game? Is the game working right now? Hold on. Is it bugged on my screen? I feel like it is. I feel like we got something that happened here. Yeah, game appears to be frozen. I don't like that. I don't know what could have caused this to occur. Let me see. Let's see here. There we go. We'll just reset it that way. Why not? Don't know what happened there. Oh well. Let me get it over here on this side too. Oh, that's a button I can hit. That's cool. Apparently I can just pause the capture. Never knew that before. Interesting. Update 49 is next week. This is the waiting room for update 49. So, it's supposed to be really good, update 49. They're going to rebalance the 6-man. They're going to add a lot to PvP, which is exciting. They haven't added anything to PvP in some time. They're adding a new creep class on the opposing side. Of course, we're on the Free People's class, the Freeps. And then the creeps are going to get the Angmarum Sorceress. So that's going to be cool. I'm sure she'll be awesome. And And then on top of that, they're going to make the raid sets a little bit more accessible, being able to barter for them, or rather barter for the pieces of cloth and armor scraps that you can use to barter for the armor sets. So we're bartering for the currency. We're taking one currency and we're bartering for a different currency so we can barter for the raid armor set. Because what is an MMO except bloated currencies, right? So, where are we taking? Oh, right here, I guess. There we go. Take it over here. Got it. Oh wait, no, that's just more torches. What else are we burning up? There's torches everywhere though, so I don't know quite the exact things we're shooting to hit here. Probably this. Let's go ahead and pick this up over here. Oh, you guys. There we go. We got another torch. We got guard tent and food stores. Yeah, what's up, Erm? I'm new to the game. I got way too many boosted characters and never bothered to get any crafting professions. Should I? If so, which ones? It depends on what you do. I would say if you want... It depends on, yeah, it really depends on what you want to do in crafting. Some people like to make their own gear so they can get into certain pieces of content. Other people like to make their own health potions and hope and scrolls, or their consumables basically. So like, you know, you have hope, scrolls, food, potions, things of that nature. I personally think that the #1 craft in the game is the scholar, just because you have the scholar is the gatherer and the crafter of that profession. So I don't think it matters what the other two are that you'd like to go for, but I think that the scholar is definitely worth it as the third profession. Do you need to make your own gear? I'm currently using the stuff they give you with the Valor. I would say that you occasionally have to make your own gear. It depends. If you're going for like a dungeon crawler, kind of when you get to end game, you want to do the content. You don't have to make your own gear, but it is nice to make gear ahead of going into those dungeons, so that you're the best you can be before you go in. If that makes sense. It definitely doesn't. It's not a necessity or anything like that. So. Burn the guard tent. Where's the food store? Is just south of us here. So a hunter with a scholar, prospector, and forester would be okay? Yes, that would be all the gathering professions. And if you wanted to just be somebody that can make their, you know, scrolls and such, and health potions, you can do that there. And then forester and prospector is gathering. So you're basically just a gatherer. Right, you're just collecting materials that you can then use to put on the auction house if you wanted to and make money off of it. So I think that is a perfectly fine. If you're not looking to be like a official crafter, because that doesn't interest you, having the ability to collect all these materials that we find out in the landscape and then put them on the auction for money is a great way to make money. So I think that that would probably be a great solution if you're not too invested in going into crafting, but you still want to like entertain the idea. Otherwise, I tell people, you know, scholar is really good, and then going with a combo like prospector jeweler or prospector metalsmith or forester woodworker, you know, forester tailor. I personally think a good combo is for any class makeup is Scholar, Prospector, Jeweler, because then you can make your own jewelry. But then you also can make health potions from the Scholar and scrolls from the Scholar, and then hope tokens from the Jeweler. The Jeweler can make those hope tokens that boost your HP up, and so when you go into dungeons, consumables of Scholar, which is scrolls, and then the hope token from the Jeweler are always going to be a thing.
Upon our strength. Will you aid us?
You'll hear me in raids say, let's get hope and scrolls on tank side. Let's get hope and scrolls on DPS side, because it affects the whole party, and it definitely is something that we always need. So that's something great that you can always go for. I want to craft eventually. It's definitely worth it to get into crafting. I would say that it's a challenge if you're not somebody that is enticed by crafting. I'm not one that enjoys crafting personally, but it certainly is something that I do see the value of, especially when you're leveling and also when you are getting into like the next tier of levels. So like when you first hit level 140 or 150 or 160, you know, you just hit these milestone markers. There's always a setup gear that you can make at that milestone that can get you into the next dungeons and stuff. So thanks. I'll do that on my main, which is Bjornia. I already have Max's Virtues. Huge. Absolutely. Yeah, that would be my recommendation, is Scholar, Jeweler, Prospector on any character that's looking to start crafting, because that gives you 2 gatherings and 2 crafts off the bat, and they're both very valuable, regardless of what character you end up picking. Some characters are a little bit more like niche. Like sometimes I have my weaponsmith on my brawler, so he could make his own brawler gauntlets. My metalsmith was on my guardian, so he could make his own shield and his armor. You know, things like that. So, yo, Prop, what's going on, man? How you doing? How was the stream yesterday? Looked like you, Rican, and Kaz were having a ton of fun. We had a blast? Nice, nice. That's good to hear. Hoping for more streams, Prop. It was awesome. We miss you in the streaming community. 2 more weeks. God damn. Oh shit. We got a lot of people going on. Oh, D, they're done. Very nice. Did that push us over to Zeal at cap? I think it did. 38 on Zeal. Let's start pumping into Wit here. That's the one that's furthest behind. Prop, did you say that you were playing FF14 at some point? Or was that Kaz that was mentioning that he's been playing it? I know Kaz has played it, though. I just didn't know if you were also playing it. It's been a minute since that was a topic of conversation. What is Kabad doing? He's way off to the side. Took a nap, had some pizza, back to Lotro. What's up, Shay? Welcome back. Glad to have you in here. What toppings do we get on the pizza? That's the important question. Anchovies? What are you talking about, Douglas? Welcome back, Tiffin. How you doing? I don't even know if I've had an anchovy, to be fair. Simple pepperoni. Try it. It's delicious. I don't know if it's gonna compete with the pineapple and pepperoni that I have. My name is green today. It was orange like earlier when you were in here. I don't know how it decides the name colors. It's quite strange. Pineapple anchovy is this tier. Okay, so you're saying drop the meats and just add the anchovy to the pineapple that we already got. Let me see what happens if I join on mobile. Yeah, it'll probably put you at a different color, I bet. Oh, dread came over us. You're yellow now. Hey, Tithan. That's where you sit at. How do the boots look? They're okay. I'm not a huge fan of them, but we'll take them. That puts us at level 78 with a new class trait point. Huge. Ding. Alright, we're going to run over to the camp real quick. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, I don't know what it does. I don't know what... It must roll a dice and kind of choose something for you, so... Let me get all repaired up here.
Greetings. I'm sure we can be of mutual service to one another.
Alright, chat. We are probably going to call it on the level up here. So I'm going to bring us over here to this screen. So I appreciate everybody for big chilling with us today and hanging out with us. We are going to... The boy Bloodborne is streaming over there. So we're going to go raid him on the Twitch side of things, guys. So appreciate everybody for big chilling with us tonight and, you know, keeping everything moving. So let me, hey, old bear, appreciate you hanging out with us, man. Let me get everything going here. There we go. All right, guys. Doesn't stream when he fishes. I don't stream when I fish. You're right, prop. I'm gonna go fish real quick. So appreciate everybody for big chilling. Appreciate Dougley with the sub and the multiple follows we had earlier, and everybody hanging out in chat. We'll probably be live on Friday, so just keep an eye out for that. But I hope to see you guys then. Until then, you guys have a wonderful rest of the week. Stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Take care.